Welcome to Kitty Unfiltered. My name is Kitty and this is Pan That Palette. Whichever update, 3, 4, I don't know. It'll be in the title somewhere down there. So I have been working on my Urban Decay Naked palette. As for many of you, it was kind of my gateway into the Pan That Palette thing. I don't know why I'm saying it was my gateway because I've only been doing it for a few months and I'm not panning any other palette right now. So I'm presuming it will be my gateway, but it's the first palette I have ever panned, and we shall take a little break here to give you a little montage of what it took to get me to this point. Okay, that brings us up to today, the beginning of March, and I hit a lot of palette. I mean, I think Amber F made some point about like once she kind of got going, like it took like it was going nowhere, and then it was like just all of a sudden stuff just started happening. And wow, I'm just gonna show you because I am really amazed. So check it out. Ah, look at that. Look at all that pan. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that pan, Becky. Look at that pan. It's amazing. I cannot believe it. Yeah, I hit pan on 5 shadows in February. 5. So I had already hit pan on Sin and Hustle. That's Sin there. I haven't used it since the time I hit pan on it. Hustle, this one here, I've actually been digging out the pan quite a bit since then, because now that my hair is kind of, well, it was like a pink and purple or a magenta and purple, but the purple died almost instantly. But the magenta, yeah, she's holding in there pretty good. Anytime I use the palette, I have been using Hustle to do my brows, much like today. So that's kind of helped me expand the pan in that. Virgin, I wasn't expecting to hit pan because I wasn't originally using it in this look. Originally I had used Milk like here and in the inner corner, but then I just got lazy or I'd get in a hurry, so I would just use Sin as my highlight, and it turns out, or not Sin, sorry, Virgin. I would use Virgin, that first color there, as my highlight, and it makes an absolute beautiful highlight, and it's a nice soft powdery pan. So I only hit pan the 13th, so I had been using pan for 40 days. So after 40 days of drilling into that one spot, I'd hit pan, but the pan has extended significantly since then because it is kind of more of a powdery shade. Then Naked and Buck, oh my gosh, didn't think I was going to hit pan on them forever because they kept going and going and going, but because I use kind of a bigger fluffy brush and I kind of take this whole top part, once I hit Sin, it's like that entire layer was ready to go. So I went from having a teeny tiny amount of pan to this amount of pan in just a few days. Oh, I hit both of them. One says the 12th, one says 13th, but I had 72 days written for both of them for how many days it took me to hit pan. So either way, so I probably hit one on the 12th and one on the 13th, which means one took 72 days to hit pan and one took 73 days to hit pan. And then the next shade I hit pan in was Gunmetal. I did that on February 15th. I had been using that for 45 days, but it was again one of those that once I would use like the whole top layer, so when it finally emptied out, it did this whole big, huge spot of pan right there. And then the last one I hit pan on was Toasted. I used, that was on February 20th, and I had been using that one 20 days because I hadn't started using it before that. So, but you can see the difference, like Gunmetal, I used for 45 days, this one here. Toasted, this one here, yeah, Gunmetal, Toasted. Toasted, I only used for 20 days, and that's, so they have almost the same amount of pan, but it's just out of the consistencies of the shadows. That's really the difference, because like Gunmetal and Creep just seem to be strangely packed in there, as were Naked and Buck. The other shadows that I've played with so far are quite a bit more powdery, so I seem to be going through them a lot quicker. Okay, so let's get into this month's look, and then, you know, we'll kind of maybe hopefully set some good goals for March. Okay, so this is the look right here that I will be wearing for March. I'm using like over half the palette just for this one look, which is weird because it looks kind of, I don't know, kind of, I guess, tame and just a basic, neutral, bronzy, smoky eye, but there's a lot of work going into it. So for Virgin, right here, I'm using that, of course, on my brow here and on my little inner corner, kind of tear ducty area there. For Virgin, I'm pretty positive I can clear out this whole top portion of the pan right there, so kind of just making a line here going straight across. I'm pretty sure I can get that whole chunk there used up, so that's just gonna be nice and straight across. That is my goal for Virgin. I don't know what the deal is with Naked, but if you look, it's almost like a little stalactite, stalagmite, like there's this bump up here in the corner. So I'm almost afraid that that little part there is just going to break off instead of getting used, because it seems for some reason that little spot there is a little more dense than the shadow around it, just because they're old shadows, so obviously maybe it drew some moisture or something, I don't know. So I think for Naked, I should be able to, I'll say, completely clear out at least half the pan right there, because this part here is pretty much untouched. It's like smooth and flat all the way across. I don't, like I said, I haven't been scraping my brush up and down. So the bottom, you know, almost 2/3 of the pan is actually completely full. So I think I can, you know, probably drill down and get to where I have this, you know, halfway cleared up completely. I don't use quite as much Buck as I do Naked normally. I think I could probably still get pretty close to half of this one done. There's a little teeny spot up here in the upper corner that's not really connected to anything, but then for the rest of it, I'm pretty sure I can clear out everything here and get it close to halfway down. So Sidecar is kind of my lighter shade that I'm using on like the inner third to half of the lid. But I used it today for the first time. It is very powdery. It kicked up very easily. So I think there's a good chance I could get some pan in this. Not near as much pan as I managed on getting in Toasted, because I don't know, like when I get to that upper layer it might be looser or it might be more firmly packed, but I'd say probably at least a sin size dip, but I should be able to hit pan in Sidecar. The next color I'm using is Dark Horse, so it's going in, you know, kind of like my outer third here to deepen up the V out here. Again, Dark Horse is a very, very powdery shade. I've only used it once and you can actually already see like little brush marks in it. So I think it's gonna, Dark Horse and Sidecar are gonna be the same thing, where they each have a little amount of pan, at least like this much, but I think I can get pan in both of those. Then of course I will be using Hustle for my brows. With Hustle, I kind of really just want to even up the edges. You can see how like these two edges here, there's like a whole bunch kind of on the side there and a little bit over on the side here. So I think as long as I can get those edges cleared out to where it's just flat straight across, since again I'm only using it for my brows, that's going to be my goal there. Obviously if I can get more than that, that would be great, but I think I can clear out this whole kind of top, like upper fourth section. I think I can get all of that out by the end of the month. And then finally on Creep, I don't like having this many shimmery shadows on my lid at the same time. You know, originally when I started this project, I was using the Lorac Pro to kind of get some white and some black that didn't have shimmer in it for like the highlight and the deepening. But I realized after the first month that I really wasn't going to get anywhere with this palette if I kept waiting until I didn't have a whole bunch of area to put the shimmery black. I don't know, it was going to take forever. So I've decided to go ahead and use the black as is. So it has been used kind of all the way up through the crease, but on a little teeny tiny pencil brush to give it a little extra oomph, and I made this little V here and a little on the outer down here. So that's how I will be using Creep this month. So for the month of March, Virgin, try to clear out the whole top part. Naked and Buck, gonna do the same thing, try to get at least like the upper half of both of those knocked out. Sidecar, I'd like to at least hit a little bit of pan. Dark Horse, I'd like to at least hit a little bit of pan. I might be able to get a little teeny tiny amount of pan in Creep if I keep kind of using in the same spot, since I'm using more of a smaller brush to put it in a precise spot. So it's almost like Virgin where I kind of drilled down that hole there. I might be able to drill down a hole in Creep as well. We shall see. So yeah, I'm really excited. I can't believe I'm only like, what, 4 months in now, and I hit pan and 5 shadows last month. Hopefully I can keep this trend rolling, and then by the end of March, the only 2 shades I won't have hit at all yet will be Have to Bake and Smog. So those will be the only 2 untouched shades going into April. But I wanted to, since March is really crappy out here in Delaware, like mid-Atlantic, it's been snowy and sleety and nasty. I figured this would be like my last good month to use a color like Gunmetal or Creep, since they are kind of more of, I call them my crappy weather colors. So since I used Gunmetal last month, I'm using Creep this month, and then like with the browns and the kind of darkers, just kind of, you know, it's a little more in touch with the weather right now. It's definitely what I would call a spring look. So then in April, I'll start using like maybe like the Half Bake and the Smog with some of the pinky colors or something, kind of going into a spring look. So this is going to be kind of my last dreary winter look, at least, you know, for the next 6 months or so. So yeah, thank you for hanging out and getting inspired to do a little pan that palette work. And yeah, I will see you all next month for another update, when hopefully I have pan in every single shadow except Have to Bake and Smog. Wouldn't that be lovely? So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you then. Wish me luck. Bye.